Perfect. Thank you all very much. Good luck today and have a great event. Thank you.
Bienvenue, bonjour. What a pleasure to be here in Monaco for the 13th Monaco Energy Boat Challenge. I'm Pat Lambert and I will have the pleasure to try and animate this to make you understand the big things, so the principles and so on. But I'm very lucky to have with me Juliette, who has been a participant and she knows it from inside. Juliette.
Hi everyone, it's really a pleasure to be here at the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge this year, and I will try my best as a former participant in the solar class to explain some technical concepts and try to make it clear for everyone. We'll see.
Yeah, what is clear that we want to explain to you is the goal of this challenge, which is accelerating the decarbonization of yachting, which means speed up the energy transition. What does that mean in practice?
So the Energy Boat Challenge really tries to be a living lab for technology and innovation. So we try to experiment here to demonstrate with students' team, other teams who are building boats and prototypes. They're showing them off here in Monaco. We're also trying, of course, to connect academia and industry through different events, mentoring programs, job forums, conferences and everything. And we also try to debate the future to understand the challenges forward for maritime innovation.
So that's really what drives the collective Monaco Capital of Advanced Yachting approach. And it will be packed days. Today is the very first one, and we will start with a parade. So it will be a moment where all the teams can be a little bit relaxed. They go on the water, they make nice shots, but there is no real competition into it. But afterwards, we'll move into the real stuff.
Yeah, real stuff. And today we start with the energy class going for qualifying laps. And the AI class will be on the docking competition, which is basically a parking competition. Is an autonomous boat able to go out of the park place, let's say, go around and park back?
And when we say autonomous this year, they're really autonomous. There will be nobody in the boat. Last year, we had someone in. They couldn't touch anything. They were just there in case there was a problem. But this year, it's really autonomous.
Yeah, absolutely. They have remote control in case of emergency. Otherwise, it's completely autonomous. No one in the boat, as you said.
And then we will also have maneuverability.
Of course, the Sea Lab class, our biggest class, biggest boats. In Monaco this year, they're doing maneuverability. So how are the boats able to steer around and go around? Is it easy or not? Because they are big boats. I mean, not as big as super yachts that we can see here in Monaco, but still for students' team, it's impressive.
Indeed. And then something we really look forward to is the Yacht Club of Monaco speed record. So it will be the fastest boat on the water, and they will try to break the record of last year. It was set last year by Frauscher and Porsche. So we'll see whether there is again an advancement in it. And then, we hope you will join us for the daily prize giving.
Absolutely. We are trying this year to have a daily rendezvous point here in the Jacques Boissat Esplanade. With prize giving for the first teams of every races we have for the day. So please feel free to join us. It will be really exciting, a cool moment, a freezing moment with ice creams and everything.
Yeah, because there is a little surprise for the teams when they get here on the Esplanade Jacques Boissy. But also, if you're not a team and you want to join us here, there is some entertainment, there is a large screen, there is a food stand. So come and join us. And for the people online, we will try to give you as much information as possible. So keep tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, students, passerbys, everyone currently hearing my voice, you're invited to the end of the Monaco Yacht Club on the Luciana Quay, where you can see the big flags and race control so that you can watch the start of today's competitions. We invite all of you down by the water to support the teams and enjoy the start of today. Once again, that is at the end of the Monaco Yacht Club on the seaside. Make your way there, you will see the flags, there are people already there. And good luck.
Okay, and here we are back then, and you see that they started the parade for the energy class, which is the most numerous one. Huh?
Of course, yeah, there are more than 20 boats here in the energy class. The main particularity is that they have the hulls that are furnished by the competition, so they need to design the cockpit, the steering, the propulsion, the battery system, the energy management, of course. So it's a lot of challenges, but at least the hulls, so the main structural parts, let's say the floating part, is already there. It's a big good start.
Yeah, and it gives also a level of a playing field for the teams, so you can make a direct comparison between the different solutions and the energy management performance in identical conditions. And we saw quite different cockpits. For instance, some have in one piece, so you can see here. Others have in two pieces with the thing. And on the screen for the moment, we have one of the Sea Lab, which is a Chinese boat. They traveled all the way from China.
Mm-hmm. It's an industrial team, if I'm not mistaken. And they're here for the first time, here in Monaco.
Indeed, China is there for the first time, but look at this beautiful shot of all the teams going there on the water. I must say the sea conditions look quite good as well, so not too many waves, and maybe that will enable some of the foiling boats to try it, because I guess that if there are too many waves, it's even more difficult to get your boat flying.
Yes, definitely. So when you're a boat, you try to have the less drag possible, so you need to reduce friction with the water. So one of the solutions is hydrofoiling, hydrofoils in general. So you can think of it as a wing behind the boat that makes it fly above the water and above the waves, so you can reduce slamming and all the friction with the water.
But also in the energy class, I heard that at the first editions, they didn't go faster than 10 knots. So they couldn't uplift a little bit. But now they go up to 30 knots. Can you imagine? That started in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And now we are here. Yeah, it's incredible, the advancement in this class as well. Huh?
Absolutely. Some advancement are also in the industrial part and the motors innovation, where you can have more powerful motors in general or more powerful batteries, etc., etc. But the innovation is indeed quite impressive in this class. And lots of teams are coming here years after years, and you can see them evolve, change their boat, change their design, adapt to get better and better on the water and in the competition in general.
Yeah, and it's really evolving. Look at the waves here. I was talking that it was calm, but actually when you have so many boats, I think it's 26 in the energy class, together here, it makes it quite rough on the water to continue. You see also that they're all very proud to show their colors, their country colors, and we have 21 nationalities here in this 13th edition.
Yeah, more than 20 countries represented for this edition of the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, and we are super proud to have nations coming from far away. We said China, we have India, we have Puerto Rico this year. It's a first, so we're really proud to have them in the competition.
Even New Zealand.
Even New Zealand is represented.
Yeah, can you imagine a 24-hour
So far away.
flight to get here. So they're completely on the opposite from us. Italy have quite a few. Also, we can mention France, of course, that have. Spain has some. So a lot of Austria. What else do we have? Belgium, of course.
Croatia.
Switzerland. So many countries. It's amazing. What I really like in this is to see that all these teams talk together, they exchange. We heard from some of them that they just get information to get their boat better. So it's true that there is a competition, but there is also a kind of a friendship, and all these engineers together go and do it better.
Yeah, definitely. That's what is great with international events, just such as this one, the collaboration between teams, the opportunity to share really information, technical specification, choices of materials, whatever. And it's a lot, the learning curve is huge for students when they have the opportunity to come here. It's a lot to learn on the technical aspect, of course, but also on the teamwork, on collaboration, learning new cultures and sharing, understanding also the conditions of the others, because you see boats, but you need context about the team, about the country, the school, whatever. It's a lot of stuff all together, and it's the event allowed to understand everything and put it together.
Yeah, and I said there are engineers, but they're not only engineers in the teams. You also need people who try to get money to be able to do this. You have communication people, and you have a pilot. And we see them here in the boats. The pilots, they must hold appropriate permit to drive the boat under its own country regulation, and they need a sound knowledge of maritime terms in English. And for some, it might be sometimes a little bit more complicated. It also needs a certain learning curve to do this.
Yeah, definitely. And you need to have someone holding a driving license in your team. It's not given. Sometimes you need to choose someone from the team, an engineer or someone from the management, and you say, okay, you will be responsible to get your driving license. And it's expensive sometimes, it's time consuming, so you need to go for it.
Yeah, there we are with one of the flying boats, because we're going to the sea lab there, it has a red flag, so I guess there is a problem in the boat. If he does this, he's trying to be towed back, unfortunately, because we saw he was flying before. So hopefully he can get back again for the different races. And actually, it's better that it's now. It's still a test, actually, this parade.
Yes. I mean, it's always easier to break things earlier. Before the competition is always better. But wait, you need weeks before the competition. If you break it at the very beginning and you cannot repair it, it's a shame. But if it's repairable, then better now than during the qualifying or manoeuvrability, because it was the Sea Lab boat from TU Delft.
I see them moving. I have the impression again. So let's hope. And all the energy class move back in. So they will come on dock. And coming back to the pilots, very often you see that they're very thin, because I guess there is also a weight that they have to have. Some teams also have two pilots, like the Sea Shakti. They have a man and a woman who are pilots, so they each have their speciality for the races, because we will come back to the different types of races later. But some, they will have endurance, they will have championship, they will have slalom, they will have different things. So each of these pilots must have either a very broad skill or have different pilots for the different tests.
Yeah, and it's a lot of concentration. You need to be focused and for a long time, so it can be very tiring. And just in case someone maybe hurts themselves, then having a second pilot is a good safety net.
And some of the teams, they were ready just a few days ago. So yeah, these pilots didn't have a lot of time to practice. So I hope they had other ways of practicing. I don't know, because here on the Jacques Boissier Esplanade we have a simulator. Maybe they can also train on a simulator like they do in F1. We are in Monaco, so we can talk about cars as well.
Probably there are simulators. I think to get the real experience, you need to get in a boat.
Sure.
There is the sea movement. There is everything. The adrenaline is huge. So sometimes you just learn on the way. But I guess most of the teams try also to have someone with a bit of experience in driving, either cars, boats, planes. It can be everything, but someone with a bit of experience who's ready to go for it, you know? The championship in particular, we will talk about it on Saturday probably, but it's a really demanding course, races, and you need to forget a bit of being in a students-built boat and go for the win.
Just go. But be careful about the boys, because if you touch them, sometimes they can just break down, and there are not that many that are left. So it's good to have somebody with a lot of skills. But sometimes you can't do anything about it. It's just that the boat breaks down, or you're just a little bit too enthusiastic, and you touch it. So it's really a very big skill for these young drivers or sailors, because we say they're sailing, which is sometimes maybe confusing, but it's a term we will use quite often. They are sailing with their boats here. Of course, we are in the Yacht Club of Monaco.
Yeah, I mean, terminology is something, so let's keep saying sailing, driving. I think terms can be exchanged and we will understand what we mean.
And talking of the Yacht Club of Monaco, it was founded by Prince Rainier in 1953 and is led now by His Majesty Prince Albert II since 1984, and it has more than 2,500 members across 82 countries. So you see the global reach is not only in the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, but also in the Yacht Club as such. So it has a very distinguished position in the global yachting community.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess without this global reach from the Yacht Club, then it wouldn't be possible to have such an international members, international teams in the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge.
Indeed. And actually, it's Prince Rainier III who had this vision that the future of Monaco lies with the sea. And he wanted to have a structure that could attract and retain the loyalty of yachtsmen worldwide. And just a parenthesis for the moment, our two big boats, the flagship boats of the Yacht Club, Twiga and Viola, are in the United States for the 250 years celebration. They did the parade there just under the Statue of Liberty, so it's brilliant. Look at this, Juliette. We see some solar panels there on the boat. You said you participated in the solar class, which doesn't exist anymore. And we hear that a lot of the AI boats come from the solar, actually.
Yeah, the solar class was the most permissible, let's say, in terms of designs, because as you see, the energy class has the same hulls, so furnished hulls by the competition, but the solar class allowed to build the boat you wanted to have. So it gave a lot of freedom for engineers if you want to do mechanics, if you want to do structural mechanics, develop new materials. It's a lot of fun to go to the solar class. So now that it doesn't exist anymore, I think the AI class allows to take the former hulls from the solar class and use it, integrating a lot of electronics and AI algorithm and hardware, everything you need to get to have an autonomous boat.
Yeah, we heard that a lot in these AI. Sometimes they have old, if I can say, a former hull, but some also developed brand new ones to do it. And the weight of the hulls is really different from one to the other. We had around 200 up to 400 M, so it will make a difference in the competition as well.
Yes, definitely. The heavier the boat, the slower the boat. So you cannot change everything. So usually you try to get the most power possible at the motor and the lightest boat. So you have less friction. As I said before, it's easier to move something lighter. But for stability questions, for manufacturing questions, sometimes it's also good to have a heavy boat to start. I think the one boat we saw, which was quite heavy, is a first timer. So
and
it's
they
a good
wanted it
experience.
to be robust. That's what they told us. They want to go also with it for a few years. They only want to start building a new one in 2 years. We'll come back to them when we see them in action. And what about sustainability here? It's also important, sustainability in this event, because it's one of the pillars of the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, not only in terms of the boats, but also in terms of the different technologies that are used. Yeah, so sustainability is everywhere. We see that they are sustainable in the materials they are choosing, but also in the propulsion that they are choosing as well. From what I understand, the hulls are the most difficult things to be sustainable. Is that a correct way to express it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the one you can have the most power on. Like, you can definitely choose the materials you want. And as we said before, the weight is a very important factor. So you would think, I need the lightest one and the most resistant one, which is most of the time carbon fiber, which is not really sustainable. So you then need to think around it to get more sustainability. So is it recycled carbon fiber? Is it a mix? Is it biosourced epoxy and resin? Is it something different? There are a lot of choices, and yes, definitely the structures are very important in that part. And then, of course, the energy management. So what source of energy you're using is another big factor, and a lot of innovation in that field. Yeah.
I also heard about flax fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain? Because I never heard this term before.
So the flax fiber is more natural fiber. It's one of the most sustainable because it's sourced from linen, which grows in Europe and around the world. It's just you can find it in the nature, and you can create very resistant composites. It's the same way of carbon fiber, so you can buy fabrics of flax fiber and combine with resins, epoxy or bioresins. You have a lot of choices again there. You can create completely resistant hulls. I think some teams, one of the Portuguese team has a boat which is completely built with flax fiber. So you can still manage to do nice stuff, really efficient. Also, I'm really looking forward to seeing them in the races there in the AA class.
But also in the energy class, they have some choices. We see it there for the cockpit. Mm-hmm. Some cockpits are in carbon fiber. There is also one which is completely in wood. And they even designed a steam oven to be able to bend the wood and have the right, the best possible penetration, I guess, to lose as less time as possible.
Yeah, because we were talking a lot about hulls. So you need hulls to be hydrodynamics, let's say, when you're not foiling. So, but the cockpit is, in that case, for sure, out of the water. So it's other questions. You need them to be aerodynamic. so that they fit well in the air and they don't create friction with the ambient air, let's say. So it's like F1 cars. You need them to be with a long profile, and there are a lot of choices possible again. And I think teams are doing their best with also what they have available, because some teams are supported by school with a lot of knowledge around composite or about naval architecture, and some others have less support. So you also need to get your hands dirty and find solutions aligning with your values. Is it more sustainability? Is it more competition? What trade-off are you ready to take?
And it's very funny to see, because some of them are very square, some are really profiled, some are in one piece, some are in two pieces, where I think the air can go in between and can do some friction, but this is from a naive point of view. And that's the one we were talking about. Look, this is the one in wood, where they did the steam oven to bend it. No, it's. I'm looking forward to see these boats in action later. Here they're just showing themselves and having fun. And we have other boats going out at the moment. I guess this is the open sea class that is having fun there, looking at the speed of the boat.
Yeah, the sea. So the Sea Lab class, they have to.
Sea Lab as well, yeah.
They have to be able to take 2 passengers on board, more than the pilot. So it's another constraint of the competition, and it's quite impressive to see the designs the teams have been come with.
Yeah. Also in the AI, some have very profiled, and then you have a dinghy. And yeah, you were talking about means, you need money. They didn't have too much. So they took something which is safe as well. They are sure it will not sink, because it has been there for years and years. And it's with different parts that will never sink together. So yeah, the design is not only what you would like to do, but also what you're able to do. And look at here, he has a little piece on top of the boat, also for the profiling of the cockpit.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that the pilot doesn't have, there isn't a blocking factor for the air, but it must not be easy to see.
Yeah, I think it's also a way to get the steering wheel and maybe the dashboard. I'm not sure, because of course the pilots need to have some information from their boat regarding speed, energy management, energy levels, temperature of the batteries. It's really important to be aware when you're the pilot, because you don't want your battery to have any kind of problems. So they also need a bit more space than just a seat and something protecting them. So yeah, they need space for the steering wheel. As you can say, probably it's that little reinforcement on the top, and maybe for the dashboard indeed.
Yeah, because you were talking about the heat of the batteries, the consumption, and so on. This year there is a new system which is put into the boats, which is a tracker, but will also give some information to the race control about consumption, about the battery heat, and so on. So safety is the main word in this. You have to be safe. These are all new technologies. Sometimes they're a little bit frightening, but here everything is done for safety.
Yes, definitely. There are a lot of efforts going for safety. We are really looking. We have technical commissions, technical committees who are really looking into all the parts of the boat. To understand what is possible to happen and how to manage it the best way possible. And the batteries is indeed a big issue, because you can play a bit around with temperatures and charge, discharge. It's a lot of things going on, but the best part is you're in the water, so probably you can manage some cooling with the water from the sea. Some teams are doing it. But of course, you don't want salty water in your battery.
know, it might be a problem if you have this. But we heard some of them only did the test on fresh water, and they didn't know how the boat will react on salt water. So, yeah, there must be a little bit of a tension in a team when you come here. You're there to learn, you're there to compete, but I guess this tension must be there. How was it for you?
Coming from the Swiss team, of course, we only did testing on the Lake Geneva, and it's not salty water, and there are no waves. So it's another learning curve. You know, you need to be a way more careful and wash your boat afterwards. It's really important. Be sure no water enters the systems. And the tension really is something. And we had a lot of problems with the waves because we didn't really know how it would react. And is the foil tall enough? Is the control stable enough? There are a lot of questions you need to answer in the first days of Monaco. So you need to be here, get the team ready, get the boat ready, go on water, because all the inspections are taking a lot of time. For the teams, it's really time consuming. They realize sometimes this was a real constraint, this is more complex, maybe, oh, we missed this, or something is a little bit wrong, and the technical inspections don't let it pass. So you need to get ready. It takes a lot of time, and sometimes you're frustrating because you would like to spend more time on the water, but it's also a shared space, so you cannot go every time, whenever you want.
You were talking about the waves, but Lake Geneva or Le Mans can be quite rough sometimes, huh? But you didn't test it when it was rough.
It's never the same.
And yesterday evening we had the opening ceremony, and you could feel that it was already first step is done, technical controls are okay, got the green sticker. We saw some of the teams publishing this on their social medias, and I encourage you to follow the socials of the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge and of the teams, because it helps them as well. They need your support, the support of everybody. So, but you could feel it was already, wow, we are there. It's becoming real now.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people meeting and realizing they're all in the same boat, let's say. And just the competition starts. Today is parade is okay. It's kind of another test. Cool images, nice photos, conditions are perfect. But then just afterwards is qualifying laps. So it's the stress, the tension must be for sure something for the pilots, for the teams, for the race controls. Everyone is feeling the tension, of course.
Yeah, sure. And you spoke about competition. There are a lot of prizes as well. Yeah, you will have the winner, the runner-up, and the third place in each class that will have a prize. You will have the speed record breaker. Last year, it was 49.84 knots. So it's more or less 92 kilometers per hour on the water. The water becomes like asphalt at that moment. It's so hard when you go that fast. You will have the overall, which is the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge Champion, where 45% will be the race performance for the on-water results across the 4 classes, with speed, maneuverability, and endurance. 45 in the tech talks and the communication, because it's also important. It's not enough to have a good boat, a fast boat, a boat that is easy to maneuver. You must also be able to sell it in a certain way, and that's what the tech talks are. You explain what it is, because we really hope this will become real life things afterwards, and communication, because if you do something brilliant but nobody knows about it, that doesn't help a lot. And these tech talks and communication are judged by an international jury. And then there's 10% that is the e-championship, because they will race on an official simulator. as well. So yeah, it's you have to have a lot of different skills to be the overall Monaco Energy Boat Challenge champion. And then there are even more. There is a race committee awards, and then for the tech talks itself, you also have prizes, but we'll come back to them afterwards. There's maybe one I want to mention specially. It is the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation Sustainable Maritime Technology Award, which is a research grant to move a solution from the research, from innovation, to real-world implementation, which is really what we are looking forward here. Huh?
Definitely, it's a big challenge, of course, going from a student team building a boat to an industrial concept. It's a big step, but it's really interesting, and I think a lot of teams are trying to go to this entrepreneurial step. It's we have seen some spin-offs of teams. Some of them are joining us here in Monaco for the event, for the week, and it's really great to see how people grow also from those teams and from this competition.
And this means when you go to a spin-off or something like that, again you need other talents, because there is all the accounts to do, there is all this managerial thing, but management is also part of the teams here, and I believe you were the boss.
I used to be the boss. Yes, management is definitely a big part also of the teams. You cannot just be a team of engineers. You can be the best engineer you want. You need to create a team, and there must be a dynamic and a bit of who's doing what, not just people doing stuff in their corner. So a lot of management, some engineering schools, they have management courses, they offer that. Some teams partner with other universities to get engineers and managers. And of course, you need communication, you need sponsoring teams, you need so many little parts that no one talks about, because here the engineering is the most visible one. Of course, we want to see boats, we want to see them foiling, we want to see them going as fast as they can. But management is a big part of it. It's always complex also to learn how to find them, to keep them, to talk with them. When you're an engineer, it's not always given. And it's a lot of things to learn. And the entrepreneurial world is exactly the same thing. You cannot just be an engineer doing great engineering things. You need to talk about it, to talk with other people, and to work with them.
Yeah, and they are encouraging communication here as well at the challenge, because there is a special prize for this. So the best communication strategy and the coverage, they look at the clarity, the storytelling, because it's not enough to show the pieces of your boat. Nobody will understand. You need to build a whole story around it, the presentation, and how to present your innovations to a wider audience. And this is exactly what we will try to do here as well, the two of us, trying to explain these innovations to the wider public.
And here on the sea, I think we see Team C Shakti, the number 16.
Indeed.
Who's doing a lap on its own. He's going quite safely. I think it's a first turn.
Yeah, you can see that they have quite different ways of steering as well. Huh? He has a little button so he can turn around. You have other steering wheels. Some are very inspired by cars. Others are a little bit different. And he was showing he was okay. So I don't know. He's probably testing several things. Because there was one where I read that they couldn't turn and go speed at the same time, so they had to adjust a certain moment. So it's really very fine tuning that's happening here. Huh?
Yes, definitely. The first moment on water is a lot of fine tuning. Sometimes it's already fine-tuning when you want to pass all the inspections, but as soon as you go on water, you realize maybe the steering wheel is not the easiest to use. Maybe the dashboard is turning with it. We had that experience back in the days. But you can some things you can change right now. Some things you need to note and pass for the future team.
Because there is also that aspect that in some teams are completely new every year, but nevertheless they learn from the others. They learn from what was done. Although sometimes they get a project which is halfway, and they have to continue it. So, passing towards the other, knowledge sharing is a big thing as well here. And knowledge sharing is not only by speaking to each other, but also creating a database or ways to share this information. Is there anything you remember about this?
We are in the Swiss boat team. We have the team is changing. 50% of the team is changing every year, so it's a huge turning point every year. In September, you have a lot of new members that you need to train. You need to give them information, and every year we are trying a lot for data transmission. Like knowledge transmission it's a big deal, and we are very lucky to have We have a coordinator who's staying years after years. It's been almost 10 years now that he's doing naval architecture in the Swiss team, and it's a real chance to have him because he's also passing the information through, and he's keeping in mind the values, is sharing them with everyone. So years after years, we can also keep the same spirit thanks to him, I would say. And I know it's not the same for every team. And it really depends. It's a lot of work to have the right documentation and to share it with the right person afterwards. And then the new members need to read it completely and understand it. And it's not always easy either. So it's really a challenge. I think every team knows here, depending also on how many members are changing. So it really depends year after year and teams from teams.
And knowledge sharing is not only within a team, but it also between teams. For instance, we heard from a Portuguese team that their founder, I remember it was called João, I can't remember the family name, went and participated with TU Delft, who is another team here. And thanks to that experience, he came back to the University of Porto, where there was nothing like this, which is quite amazing because next to the sea. And they started it from scratch. It's thanks to the idea to the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge and to the will of one person that they created a full ecosystem to do this.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's joining a team which is already existing is something. It's always hard. It's always a lot of work. But creating a new team is another challenge, and it's a lot of work. A lot of learning curve is huge. You learn a lot of things, but it's really tiring. And those people are students, so they're doing their own engineering studies in parallel of this. This doesn't really count for their studies, not for everyone at least. So you really have to think it's a hobby. So you're doing it afterwards, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a hobby, but it's also a forward-looking hobby, because it can open new doors. And we here also have the job forum. So for some of these engineers, so that they can meet the industry and see whether there is not an opportunity for them.
Yes, definitely. It's really time-consuming, but it's a lot of learning. So you grow a lot from that. You can have a lot of opportunities opening in front of you thanks to such competitions and such teams, projects, school projects, university projects. A lot of things to discover and a lot of opportunities ahead. Is it joining a company here that you discover here at the forum? Is it creating a spin-off or a startup from the tech talks that you developed, or the innovation you developed for the boat? It's really open, a lot of possibilities, and I think that's also what's great here. Everything's possible, and you get new tools, a lot of new tools to get ready for life in the engineering life or the management life. Just work ahead.
For you personally, did it open new avenues?
I did a lot of fun stuff thanks to it. I'm really grateful for the experience. It opened a lot of things. Yes, definitely. I got to meet new people and got opportunities in my school at EPFL, and also I'm here today, so I'm super happy.
Yeah, and I think that's something we want to give to all the students who are here. Go and talk to the others, share, see what opportunities you have. Travel the world if you can, and join other teams in other parts of the world, because every culture has its own way of doing. The more you are open to the different cultures, to the different ways of thinking, of challenging yourself, the more you will achieve in life. Huh?
Definitely. The more opportunities you grab, the more opportunity you will get, the most fun things you can do also.
Create your own opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait for them to go. We can see that they're putting the energy class there on the water, and I guess they will go for the qualifying laps now.
It's the 1C team from Germany.
Yeah, 1C, yeah.
Putting the
boat on the water, and they will all go for these qualifying laps, which are very important, because that will give the way they will be classified for the championships, how they will enter the championship race afterwards. There we have very recognizable the Croatian one, thanks to their flag that is everywhere. And yeah, it's a little bit like an international sporting event. They all wear their countries. ADRIA, which is Association of Applied Technical Sciences, and yeah, they're quite good. ADRIA, I'll try to find the number 20.
21. 20, sorry. It's been a while. They're coming here to compete at the Monaco Energy Boat class. I do remember they were also in the solar class when we entered the competition. So it's also a pleasure to see them still competing here. We remember them because they were super creative with how to repair their boats.
Because they had some crashes, or?
I don't exactly remember, but I think there was a crash and the structural part was broken, and they kind of sorted out with instant noodles or something like that. It was crazy for us.
And here we have 1C. They told us it's not 1Z, but 1C, Technische Universität Berlin. And they are here with two teams. They have one in the AI class and one in the energy class, if I'm not mistaken.
No, exactly.
We will have time to talk about them at certain moments. And you can see that they love being in the water as well. I must say I'm a little bit envious to be able to go in the water to refresh, because the temperature is quite high, and that will be a challenge for the batteries as well. We saw some inventive things, a little bit like our camera, who has also foils around it to protect it. We saw some of the batteries that were also protected like that.
Yeah, it will be the temperature here is crazy, and I think it will be a challenge for everything, for the pilots, for the solar panels, because it can get really hot and it's not always the best for efficiency. For the batteries, of course, I think the batteries are most of the time quite heavy boxes, so maybe they manage to cool it, and I hope they took in account this the south of Yeah, the south heat in general, because it can get quite crazy on water. The reflections are everywhere, and you can get really hot. And I hope the pilots are drinking enough water, and I hope everyone is drinking enough water here, because you really need it. We're quite happy here in the Esplanade Jacques Boissy.
Yeah, and you can come and join us. There is something to drink and to eat here if you need hydration, of course, is key. We don't want anybody not to be able to see this wonderful event until the end. And coming back to the batteries, I saw some like in frigo boxes, some cooled with water that comes. So they're really inventive.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways to cool a battery and cool systems in general. You have what we call water cooling, so you have pipes that let water go through and cool the systems in general. You can have really fancy materials that are phase changing, so they can, if they heat too much and they go from the solid state to the liquid state, then they will absorb the heat. So it's a really innovative way. I didn't know about it before. I think the Indian team and maybe another team is using it.
That's what they were talking about, that they wanted to bring to because it's important to industry. Is this what you are referring to?
Yeah.
Because the batteries are one of the problems, the issues for the industry to go further, and they were trying to do this. Is that...
Exactly. So, yeah, of course, batteries are a big innovation point those days, because electricity is everywhere. We have electric cars, electric bikes, electric houses now. So you need to really invent the system of tomorrow to store the energy. It's a really big challenge. And the temperature, the heat management in general is a big challenge. And you need, of course, to research, develop new solutions, and then bring them to the industry. And I think they really are trying to experiment with it, with this new phase-changing materials solution, to also understand how it could be implemented for the industry later on.
This is the point here.
Absolutely. This is the Monaco Energy Boat spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And we see quite a lot of boats there doing laps and, just trying to maneuver. Some are already out on the sea. Look at this. They're already doing their qualifying laps. It's the Adria racing team that's on the water. It's quite rough, actually. You see the boat going different directions. And you have not only you must be able to look at the battery to see how to do, but you also have to be able to turn correctly. Look at this beautiful turn, but also to work with the different waves, because a wave can push you one way, can push you the other way, so you will always be working in the boat as a pilot. And you can see it, what a work he has. He was a little bit angry, I think, because there was another boat in the middle of his qualifying lap. You could see on his body language that he was not the happiest person on earth, but he did well, huh?
Of course, yeah, he did well. It's always a struggle as a pilot. There are a lot of things to think about, to see, to understand, to react super quickly. And any other boat in the middle is a mess. But sometimes they can have a second try. We will see, of course, what's happening here. And let's the qualifying laps begin.
I think they can do as many as they want. So you can have the motor going down a little bit in temperature and then start again. I will do very often comparison with cars. So it's a little bit the same. They come back to the paddock, or they wait a little bit and then they go full speed again. Adria, they were on the podium in 2025, so they want really to go for it. They wanted to do, we saw, we don't see them anymore, but we saw that the cockpit is in one piece because they found it was elegant. It was not only because it is effective, but also because it is elegant for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a choice. When you are engineering a new boat, you can also choose what suits you well, what pleases you. I think there is a team with a cockpit in the shape of a teardrop. It's, at some point, you can also just make aesthetic choices. It's okay. You have maybe to justify them sometimes, but I mean, it's your boat.
And do some of them have the opportunity to go in tunnels, in these air tunnels to test different things? Because it's quite expensive, doing this?
Most of the time you cannot go with their full cockpit, but maybe if you have the opportunity, you can have a smaller version and put it in a air tunnel to go for aerodynamics studies. It's really interesting to understand how the air will flow around it. Of course, we have simulations on computer, so you can have first idea with that by computing it. But real testing is, the room is the first good step, and then when you scale it up, you need to go for it and see.
And here we are with Hydro Vinci, Léonard da Vinci University campus, le pôle Léonard de Vinci, so from France. Last year I had nicknamed them Le Gaulois because their cockpit was quite impressive and it was a little bit rough, I would say. But this year they made a big advancement in it. They created this steam oven to bend the wood to do it, and they did everything themselves. Most of the parts are in wood, so sustainable as well, except for the two bars that are taking all the weight.
Yeah, of course. At some point, you also need something super resistant. And as I said, it's a question of trade-off. So you can say if everything else is in wood, then maybe two beams in carbon fiber, it's fine in the total of your emissions. It's reasonable for competition, because it's a competition. So you need also to go fast and be competitive. So
j'étais plutôt sur le côté du micro.
it's
And you were talking about competition. Actually, they built two custom propellers, one for the endurance and one for speed. Why would this be?
So it's a really interesting part, because of course propulsion is one of the most important part on a boat. We said we want it to be light but powerful, and the power comes from the motor, right? So the power is just it's using energy to make something turn, but then something turn, you need to move the water to have a displacement and just sail away. Float forward, like someone says. So you need the propellers, and it's most of the time 3 blades. You have a certain amount of blades to move the water around and have a displacement forward, right? So there are a lot of innovation also in the shape of blades. You can really design so that it's hydrodynamic and it just make a right flow without too much friction, without creating cavitation or ventilation, which are known problems in the maritime worlds for motors. It's just creating bubbles, in fact, around your propellers, and you really don't want that, because it slows you down, and it can also hurt the propeller and destroy it, in fact.
You were talking about floating forward, and we have them there, the Danish team, who is called Float Forward. I find that a quite nice name, because it's not too ambitious, maybe, but it is what it is. It is humble, and it's not the first time they come, and they have one single ambition, they said. It's the advancement of an innovative, highly efficient propulsion system. So they will do more than floating.
Hopefully. No, we wish them all the best, and of course, innovative, highly efficient propulsion system. I cannot wait to see what it does.
And it's they focus on building their own propulsion system. So I guess previous years they were using other ones, but this time they did their own one, which is 3 times more powerful. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a great advancement. So you can, 3 times more powerful is a big advance. I don't know if it's only on the propeller or if it's also another different choice of motor, maybe a drive choice. Is it less gears, or I don't know what they did, but apparently the efficiency is way better. So well done, Team DTU, and can't wait to see the results.
Yeah, they come from Kongens from Denmark. They're the only Danish crew here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Who is trying to do their laps there? Is wow! Look at this with the drones. It's always nice to have these shots. Oei, did you stopped? Maybe this waiting for the next lap to start. And we see a lot of wires, and isn't it also one of the things you have to be careful about? If there is some water coming on the wires, can you protect them better, or are they water resistant? Or
again, a lot of choices because the box is quite heavy. It's most of the time not aerodynamic, so cables are a bit more discreet. But yes, so most of the time you choose what cable you will buy, right? You don't make them yourself. So you can have a choice of waterproof, water resistant. The cable is important, but also the connector, of course, because the cable is not just floating around, but it's inserting somewhere, and you really need to be careful there, because connections is also a bit of a risky point. Sometimes you have a box which is super waterproof, yay, but you had to make a hole somewhere to get the cable through. If you forgot to waterproof this, then you have an issue.
Definitely. And I think they were waiting because there were big boats coming out of the marina making waves, and they don't want waves to do their qualifying laps. And here we see that Adria is going again full speed. He seems very quick. And look at this. He's floating above the water. He's really planning taking off. It's really impressive to see. And the turns very close. That's something they will have to make choices as well. You will see that some take very short turns because you do less kilometers or meters. Some will do larger turns because then you keep the speed. And it's also a tactical choice you will have to take.
Definitely. The race planning and the training of the pilot is also something that you think as a team. You really work on it also. It's really interesting. It's most of the time really out of your engineering training. Like a lot of things you do in a
And I would argue, if I may, because it will also depend on the way you can turn the steering wheel, because that's part of taking the turn. If you have a system that demultiplies in a certain way the way you turn your steering wheel, it will enable you to take shorter turns, no?
Absolutely, but I will argue back. Sometimes you also go with the constraints you built yourself.
Okay.
Because maybe you made choices at some point, you realized them in some way, and you have new constraints. You didn't plan it, but then your steering wheel is maybe a bit... you cannot go all the way you wanted, and then you have to do with it. So it's also a game you have to play and to accept when you're a team of engineers trying for the first time to build a boat.
Yeah, so every time you make something, you change something, there are implications you didn't foresee, and you have to start. It's a try and error thing as well.
Definitely. And you work as a team. So if you make a change and warn no one, then everybody will be surprised and nothing will work. You really need to warn everyone and talk about what you're doing. It's really team working.
Yeah, between the different specialities, really, it's important.
But you have teams here ranging from 6 people to 100. So it's really also really interesting because interesting to understand the constraints also of the team. If you're 10 people, it's easier to talk between yourselves, but it takes more time to develop a boat. If you are 100 people, maybe it's a bit easier to get all your systems prepared, but at least you really need to have to go for knowledge transfer, right?
Il a dit que quand. Yeah, we have a whole float there that is waiting to do their turn, and I think I saw number 17 here, number 17, which is Uniboat, University of Bologna, Argonauts team. They are really well known because they do really good stuff. They are 35 members in their team, and they want to have a high efficiency but clean energy racing catamaran like everybody. They won 3 consecutive editions in the energy class, and what is even better, 4 energy class wins in 5 editions. So they're really going for it.
Yeah, they're really impressive, and they also win not only the races but also tech talks and everything. So they're quite, and yeah, they show off the interdisciplinarity of their team, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, and they have a different architecture this year. So it's a little bit of a search as well, but they would dream to win again the energy class. And the focus for them is on the endurance race because it counts for 2 as well. It has a multiplier factor, and they want to show how hydrogen can reach top-level performance on the water.
Yeah, absolutely. So they changed the architecture, as you said. They changed the energy management, the energy source. They implemented hydrogen fuel. So yeah, they want to show off. Of course, they would like to win, but they would also like to show off that hydrogen is an interesting way to generate energy and go for interesting racing, and it would be maybe the future of sailing here in Monaco, maybe, and around the world, hopefully. So here we see one team of the United Kingdom, but I cannot see the number. So it's Riviera Racing from Cambridge University.
Yeah, it's number 5 that is on the screen. But sorry to interrupt you. We see that unfortunately the DTU float forward is towed in, which means they have a little issue with their boat. The Danish team there, you see that security is towing them back. And this is also something that the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge is very good at. It's security. You have plenty of people here watching everything, being there for the teams, and even The firemen are there. Everybody is there for the teams, for their safety, and to allow them to perform at their best. And we sincerely hope that DTU will be able to come back with their boat very soon, while we see their Biscaya on the screen. So the team from Spain with a very recognizable dual flag there in this boat. And their very specific design is also from the dragonfly, and you can see it. They were inspired by a dragonfly, they said.
That's really interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, it's one of their first participation in the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, no? So yeah, they have experience and knowledge of different engineering fields, a team of 12 members only, and their focus this year, so it's not their first participation, their focus has shifted from hardware replacement to system intelligence. So it means that maybe they have embedded more sensors and they're trying to understand better what's going on in their boat to have a better drive or better sail.
And it's the second time, actually, including this edition. And they've been working on this for 1 year, again, like a lot of them. They have only 1 year to do. And what they really like about the event, that's why they came back, actually, it's that they meet people that inspire them to do better, to go further, connecting, sharing cultures, and have the same global movement with them.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I think now we see the Adria team again from Croatia, with a lot of sparkling water, spraying water behind the boat.
Yeah,
and the front really part is really
taking off, huh?
Definitely.
So the drag is less, so he will go faster. But look how he has to work. Look at the work of the pilot with the steering wheel to stay in a clear line, in a right line, to try and really stay stable. And then preparing for the turn, and there he is. He finishes his turn.
Yeah, he's moving a lot the water. The front part is quite out of the water, so there's not a lot of drag, but all the back of the boat is really into the water, and you can see the motor is spraying a lot of water, so he loses a bit of energy there.
Yeah, and there is a new tracking system on the boat, and this gives us as well a little bit more information, such as who is leading at the moment in the qualifying laps, and also how good they are doing. So, Juliette, you have it in front of you. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, definitely. So I'm going to be a bit of an ad here because it's this tracker has been done also by an alumni from my school and from the Swiss Solar Boat team. So the Nemo system, they have built trackers, and we can see online the boats moving, and we have a live tracking of the ranking. And right now we can say that the Adria team is leading the qualifying laps with a best time of 50 seconds. And it's a close draw with Uniboat just behind. 1 second later, 51 seconds for their lap.
Yeah, it was quite obvious that they were going very quickly.
Yeah, they were
the team from Croatia.
Absolutely, Yeah, we could have tell. But it's always good to have numbers. We can easily also compare teams. But right now it's led by the Croatia, then the 2 Italian teams, then the Riviera Racing, Tameo from France, Polyboat from France, and then Ino Boat is 4 now, closing the road. There are only 7 boats who did the qualifying laps. So the fastest lap was done in 50 seconds, while the other one, the last one, I cannot speak English anymore. The slowest one was made in 2:37 seconds.
Yeah, that's quite a difference between those boats. But yeah, it's only the start. They have time enough to come back into the race and do better. I guess some of them want to be a little bit cautious about the way they start in this event.
Yeah, as we said, it's always a shame to break something, so you want to be careful. Also, you have a bit of emotional attachment, to your boat. You don't want to break it on the first qualifying lap, so you want also to keep it complete and functioning for the rest of the races and the competition in general. You really need it.
It also depends on the level of confidence you have on your boat to see whether you will go fast or a little bit less, no?
Yes. So is it a question of confidence in the boat or confidence in yourself?
Also?
Or maybe just to forget about the thing that you are in a prototyped boat?
Because confidence is important. It's important here, but it's important as well for a person, and to be able to be assertive, I would say, and to bring your talents in front of everybody and use your talents in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But being a pilot is also... No, it's... being a pilot is also a lot of confidence in yourself. And,
And some of them are very excited by what they are doing here. You might not hear the sound that is coming from the docks, but I think they're really happy with what Elektra Unice just did, the Polytechnical School University of Genoa. And there are bachelors, there are masters, PhD students from a department of electrical, naval architecture and marine engineering program. So yeah, they want to have a very strong link between the teaching and the scientific research. And it's their 4th time here already. So
yeah,
they have some experience. This is one of the cameras which is on board, and it's nice to see the concentration of the pilot and the work he's doing. Look, he has another steering wheel, and it's not a round one, it's only half of it, a little bit like a Formula 1 car. And we might have a chat with some of them to ask why they choose different types of steering wheels. And if I saw correctly, this was number 15. Number 15 being Polytechnique, Polyboat, and which is an association. And we see that for several teams. It is not really a spin-off, or it's not a department. It's an association that creates these teams.
Absolutely. For most of them, it's associations, students' associations, students' organization who are really bringing the motivated students together and trying their best to develop a boat, basically.
we can't see from his face whether he's happy or not with his run. He's so concentrated that it's difficult. But look at this shot. Isn't it beautiful, being on the waters of Monaco? And when you look at the social media of a lot of teams, they just say, yes, here we are. Because it's such an achievement to come. Some traveled so far. And I believe this is also something that is taken into account. It's a number of kilometers they did to come here. Because, of course, if you have to ship your boat from China or from Puerto Rico or your pieces, it takes more time than if you are in Genoa. So you can work less on your boat. And is it the Puerto Rico team with whom we were talking who said that their battery was sightseeing France because they didn't get it yet?
Exactly. Yesterday they told us that we're really waiting forward receiving the battery. So we really hope for them that they received it. But of course, it's also a constraint that you have to take into account. Are you going to compete in a really far away location? Do you need to think your boat super modular so that you can dismantle it and mount it again easily with safety to keep it complete and working without too much struggle? Because teams have been here since Sunday evening or maybe Monday morning. The latest maybe arrived on Tuesday, but it's really, really a short amount of time to get ready to race, to have a functioning boat. For some teams, they could make it sail for a month, maybe max. So it's really a constraint you have to take into account, and it's a lot of things to think about. All the teams who need to send it cargo ship it or airship it, they thought about it. All of them wrote somewhere. We thought about doing a dismantling boat. We had to think about all the parts, and it must be a big of logistics to think about.
We were back there with Biscaya, boat Biscaya, and they said that their biggest success as a team was to see their boat finally on the water. And gliding, sailing on the water was an unforgettable feeling. And I guess that's something. These are moments you keep for ages, for all your life.
Definitely. You have been putting so much effort, so much work into the project, into building a boat, into building... Is it the structure? Is it the electronics? Is it something else? Is it the management? Is it the sponsoring? It's so much work, so much dedication from the teams, from the members, that once it is on the water, once it's sailing, once it's foiling, every moment as a team is a unique experience and a unique souvenir, like a memory that is written forever. And you want to... it's a lot of strong feelings, a lot of emotion for the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge as a student and as a team.
It must be a little bit like they say, un ascenseur émotionnel, an emotional lift, because you come full of hope, you want to do things, and then you have, like here, unfortunately, we see that the Henan University from China is still looking at some parts. They're not on the water yet, so that must be so tough as well. But if the boat goes on the water, then your lift goes up again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always ups and downs, and you're always trying to do your best. Sometimes it's also not easy because you have different lifts in the same team. Because of course, some teams are coming. Some teams are like when you are 100 members in your team, but you cannot only come with 20 persons here. Then you have to get some people who are responsible for specific tasks, and then the tension is not the same for everyone. And sometimes it's also a challenge to get everyone at the same page, everyone with the same energy, the same focus at the same time. It's really hard. So some people could get different emotional lifts in the same team. during the same week.
And you were talking about having a team of 100 and only 10 can come. That must be so tough as well, no? To choose, to know who will come, who will support from the team home, because I guess sometimes you also need them. Say you have a small electrical problem and your main electrician is here, the electric engineer is here, but he needs the advice of others to go forward. He needs to be able to rely on the ones who stayed at home as well.
Yes, definitely. It's a mess. It's the hardest. It's not the hardest, but it's a hard thing to get to decide who's going and who's not going, because it's it's the event of the year. So you want to be here, and it's a hard choice, but most of the teams, they are trying to get the smartest choice. I think most of them are doing it well, and you're indeed trying to get people aware that you're competing, so they're available if you have an emergency, phone call or everything. I think it's easier, of course, for the European team because of the time shift.
Yeah.
I guess for some other teams, it's another story.
Sure. Sure, there must be a wake all night, like for the football for the moment. And I hope the French teams will not stay awake too late today, because the French will be playing, but they need to know they are competing tomorrow. Huh? So,
yes, definitely. Yeah. There's the endurance race at 10 a.m. tomorrow, so they have to be on time. They have to be on the water tomorrow as they are today. And they need to be full of energy for it.
Sorry. Yeah, we had also a little chat with an Austrian team where the kids, as they said, because they're very young, they are students, they're about 19 years old. It's not a university, it is students, and they went out. They went looking for Monaco. Fortunately, they did it the day before yesterday, so now they're all focused and go full for the challenge here.
And here we see again the Poly Nantes team, Poly boat from Nantes, Poly boat team, yes. Racing.
Yeah, they're the Italian team. Which number is it? 23. It's a physis Monaco Energy Boat from the Politecnico di Milano. We talked to them yesterday also a little bit. They work very closely with industrial sponsor, which is a help. It's not the case for all the other teams. And actually they act for them as a testing and experimentation laboratory for new technologies and new solutions in engineering, which is a very good match, actually. If you can do this, then one of your problems is solved. Huh?
Well, all your problems are not solved by industrial partners, but of course it's a huge help and it's a support that is really, really valuable. Of course, it's... The most interesting part is when you can work with the partner and develop something hand in hand with them. So I know some teams have been developing maybe solar panels with them using specific new cells that are more efficient. Maybe it's a new battery system. Maybe it's new material, more sustainable or more resistant. Or maybe it's a new way to manufacture the boat. Really interesting things, and it's another real chance to be working with partners from the industry or for maybe the academical world. Sometimes it's a laboratory which will bring their expertise in the game, in your design, in your projects, and this is really, really a big help for students. Of course, they cannot invent everything themselves. They
Yeah.
need the support.
Not all problems are solved, but one of them, which is money, I would say, is solved, or part of that.
Yes, part
that
of it is
problem.
solved.
And there, I have the impression this team was still talking with the technical committee, because I saw someone in a
In the grey
shirt looking at it. So yeah, I hope all the teams will be allowed on the water soon, because that would really be a shame not to be able to go for it. And when you look at the drivers, some look much more relaxed than others. Huh? I don't know. It's look at him. It's and you see that he has one hand on the driving wheel and one on the motor, on the
Power lever, yes.
yeah, the power level. So is
Yeah,
that
I mean,
for
it's,
everybody, or is it a choice they do?
It's a choice. I think, maybe I need to read technical rules and someone will tell something. But I think it's a choice. They can choose if they want, how they want to power the boat and the motors. So it's, really design choices that you have to make at some point.
Beautiful shot of Monaco as such. You can see the yacht club there at the left, and then all the buildings. And I think on the right we will have Maretera, the new part of Monaco. There, that is really they're trying to gain some room on the water, because otherwise, they're a little bit stuck with France in the back.
Here we can see the Indian team visibly checking some electronics. Hopefully it's something that it will be manageable by the team in time to keep going with the competition. We really hope to see them on the water again. They did a lot of improvements from last year. They changed a lot of things because they tried to the Indian team was really trying to compensate for the limitations of last year. So we hope to see them in the water soon.
Yeah, we saw them in the parade, I think.
Yeah, they were on the docks right now.
But now they are
visibly
back.
Checking something.
Yeah, but which is also good. Huh? It means probably that they are fine tuning and working hard on it. They don't seem too stressed, I would say. You have the boss on the boat and giving instructions to the others. And let's see how it turns out. I guess it's also the moment to do this. They go and do a lap, they come back, they try something else, they do again a lap. And it's in Formula One, it's the same. In any racing car as well. They do one, the pilot doesn't feel it, so they will come back and see whether they can adjust. Sometimes when you adjust, it's even worse. And they are very thirsty. You can see they hydrate very well. They have a lot of water. And we hope everybody is doing the same here, because it's really, really hot. Lots of boats coming back. Although normally the qualifying laps are still 2 hours. So they have time to do them still. But you see that a bunch of them are coming back to the docks. Maybe also because it's nearly lunchtime and they want to come back at that moment. here we see that the pilot is also talking to the team who is on the shore, exchanging information and trying to get some help maybe for certain things, knowing, do I have to give more power at that moment? How can I better use the power of my battery? Because it's a very limited battery, and that will be really interesting in the endurance to see how they manage to go as fast as possible, but during all the race.
Yeah, it's a very long race, the endurance, and all of them have different batteries. It's 4 hours of race, trying to do as many laps as possible. So they need to have a strategy also, yes, on energy management, how they keep track of the battery discharging, how do they charge it again, is it with solar panels, is it with hydrogen? They really need to think it through. And yeah.
And we heard from some teams that they have themselves a system in the boat that gives them this information, so that they can at every moment control, change something, and they are in control of it. I'm not sure every team has it, but some at least have it.
Yeah, they either have the control or at least the information. Sometimes it's information displayed on the dashboard. Sometimes the pilot have a direct voice link with either the team on shore or maybe an algorithm that is computing for them the best route and the best strategy for the battery management. There are a lot of different strategies.
I wanted to ask you, because you saw two very different concepts of boat there. One which has a very small cockpit completely at the front, and the other who has a very streamlined cockpit that takes everything. It's so different.
Yeah, it's also a matter of the gravity center, because you want to distribute masses in a smart way. You need to also think it through. So if they have a large battery on the back with energy system, the solar panels, as you can see, so the pilot needs to be in front, so it's more distributed, and they avoid this really big effect of having the front of the boat flying and the back of the front completely underwater, which could be really complicated with the batteries and cables and everything. So it's yeah, they have. So the team in front, the Italian team from Milano, they distributed it in a different way, more on the sides, using more maybe the hulls, whereas some teams concentrated all the different parts more in the middle. Maybe it's also easier to mount and dismount, probably something like that.
We very quickly saw an AI boat, completely autonomous. So they have started their docking exercises, and we saw one who was doing it quite well there. But if we come back to what you were explaining, it will depend. The position of the pilot will then depend on the weight of the battery and everything you have. If you have a smaller system technology, which is not, it is a little bit more lightweight, you can put the pilot a little bit more to the middle, I guess.
Yes, that's exactly. You want to keep it in the middle, so it's stable also. So the heavier the back, you need to put the pilot a bit more in front. It also depends on the weight of the pilot, but this is
yeah.
You should not be differentiating a lot.
When the boat was designed, you receive your weight and you have to keep it until the end of the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge. Otherwise, the distribution is not good enough.
I think at some point there were also like regulation on the pilot's weight. So sometimes the pilots were too light, and they had to either drink a lot of water before racing, or bring out additional weights. I think that was our case also in 2022.
So we are here with Hydro Vinci, again trying to do their laps. I have the impression it's the same boats we see often. The others will come later on the water to do their qualifying laps. There's still nearly 2 hours to go for this. It is nearly 70 people that are passionate and that make the team here. They're united by strong values of what we talked a little bit before. It is teamwork, knowledge sharing, and sustainability, sustainable innovation. They launched more than 9 prototypes. So
That's a lot.
you can imagine that they know what they're doing by now.
Yeah, definitely. They have nine prototypes for 9 editions. It's a really impressive.
And they have solar panels on their boat as well. And they had some energy management limitations in the past. So they decided to address this by having one main innovation, which is a predictive energy management system. So it's algorithm that determines the optimal motor circulation, if I say it in normal words, on the battery state of charge, the remaining race time. So they really defined all this together, and it's impressive, huh?
Yes, definitely is. It's a lot of work, so everything. I think I'm impressed by everything they do. So,
Yeah.
But it's.
Now there are the Croatian again. Oh, look at the steering wheel of the Croatian.
Ooh.
It's even different. It's only a handle with 2 parts.
Yeah, probably for the power lever they have to have one, because I see all the teams have one. So you're probably free to place it wherever you want, but they need to have one that is separated from the steering.
Did you see how close he was to the board? That's quite a problem. If you touch it, not only you will have problems with the race director, because he doesn't have that many boys that are left to be able to replace a lot, but also you will lose a lot of time. It is, and that's maybe the main factor for them, losing time on their qualifying laps. He was already leading this, and he's trying to do fast laps to even do better. And new boats going to the water, a French boat. We can't really see the number, but we look forward to see them on the water as well.
And for now, on the qualifying laps, the fastest one is still from the Adria team, the Croatian team, with a lap made in 50 seconds. And for now, the slowest turn was made in 5 minutes and 30 seconds by the Poli Milano team. But I guess that was their first turn, so they have more opportunities to get faster and faster on those qualifying laps.
And it seems that Adria is not happy. They are leading, but still not good enough. Still doing other laps to see whether they can improve again, or maybe testing other things again with their very streamlined cockpit, as you can see. And what is also nice is that they have, a lot of those teams have sponsors, people who believe in what they are doing. It's not just that they give money, that's one thing, but they really believe in what they are doing. And that's the main driver for me.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that all those companies are supporting them, and it's for the teams. It's really important. It's a lot of work also to find those sponsors, to keep them also years after years. it's really a work. I was doing it for 1 year in the Swiss Solar Boat team, and I really a big cheer up to every sponsors, managers in the students team, because it's a lot of it's a new thing when you're studying engineering and you suddenly have to talk to sponsors and sell a project that isn't really existing yet. So you have to say, hey, are you ready to give money to some students trying out stuff?
To believe in us.
Yeah.
To help us achieving a more sustainable maritime yachting. It's really important. And I think it's... do you go often to alumni, to people who were at the university and who might have another feeling with it?
I think we're trying. Yeah, everyone is trying to do it, but I mean, in the Swiss network, sometimes it's a bit harder to find people in the maritime sector. But I mean, we have a lot of other companies who are interested in innovation in general. So it's a good way. Yeah, the alumni are a good. A nice door, let's say, to find money. And sponsors, sometimes you're not interested in money, you're interested in knowledge and places and expertise in general, or material. Is
parts
it
that you can use?
Exactly. Yeah. Is it a motor? Is it solar panels?
Yeah.
It's always a lot of exchanges are possible, and it's really interesting. But also for the future of engineers, the EPFL boat, of course, also has a lot of sponsors, and it's interesting to learn how to talk to sponsors. It's also a good entry in the industrial world when you're looking for a job afterwards. It's
I guess on a CV, it also makes a difference. If you can say, I was in the team for the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, we achieved this. My role was to do this and this. It opens new perspectives on your CV.
Absolutely. For a lot of industries, it's maybe not game changing, but still it's a big difference. People are happy to see that you have a first hands-on experience, that you have a real teamwork experience also, that you have been working with people before, not just on theoretical mandatory courses, but that you chose at some point to work with inspiring people in a very ambitious project. They're super happy to see that, and it's a plus on the CV, of course.
Not that many boats anymore on the water at the moment, but some are preparing or coming off the water. Yeah, the slipway is quite busy there. Huh? We can tell. I'm always a little bit, how can I say, astonished by seeing the number of wires you have on those boats, and to know what wire does what. Is not always the easiest. I guess you also have plans, so that if you have to intervene very quickly, you can do it, and you can refer to certain papers to be able. Do you have like a kind of a risk management system, so that if this happens, I have to look at this?
Of course, yes. Or maybe not all teams, but it's really important to think about it, at least, because with the pressure of the competition, or just maybe you haven't worked on every part of the boat and suddenly you face an issue that is very specific, you need to refer either to someone or to something, and documentation is a good way to concentrate everything.
Yeah, and the what if is always easier, huh? Because I guess during the development phase you encounter issues by definition. and you need to find a solution. So if you have that issue again, you already have the documentation that helps you and that gives you some possible solutions. So it's also knowledge sharing within the team, within the year, and maybe even years before, because it might be something that already happened 2 years ago and never again, and then if you still have that information, it will help you. No?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why knowledge sharing from years to years is critical, but it's one of the hardest to maintain. Because if half of the team left and someone was too busy to document what happened, then you lose information and then you lose time later on, because you will most probably face a problem that occurred before.
I had the impression that DTU Float Forward was going back on the water. I really hope they do, so that they can continue the adventure.
Yeah, hopefully.
And yeah, our driver here seems very relaxed. Huh?
He's not racing, that's why he's relaxed.
And this is the team we often see from inside, the one who has the onboard camera. And you can also see that he's very looking everywhere. Also, when you take a turn, you have to look where you go, so that you can take the best possible turn you can do. But there he's waiting a little bit. He's really relaxed in his boat, enjoying a nice cruise in the harbor, in the marina of Monaco.
Maybe he could stop, but he's probably happy to move a little bit, so that he has wind also to refresh him. But it's always, again, a trade-off with battery energy.
And when you see these other big ships here, yachts, and so you can, I have a dream, somebody said this before me, but that those boats will then in 10, 20 years use the technologies that are developed here. That would be brilliant, huh?
Yeah, it would be great. For now, it's really, developed for smaller boats, for speed, for endurance, around 4 hours. So it's not scalable yet, but thanks to those events you can go further and develop more, and also encourage sponsors, industry to develop it even more.
Yeah, because the CO2 emissions are quite a problem, and we're all facing these heat waves at the moment. And the Yacht Club of Monaco has developed the Sea Index tool that is a global reference to assess the CO2 emissions for yachts that are larger than 24 meters. And it is already applied in a lot of harbor, more than 20 harbors and marina in the Mediterranean and the Seychelles. And it includes now fuel cell technologies. So it's already a step to do. And they have teams that are working on a system to raise awareness of issues with pollution in the oceans. So it is so important, and therefore this event is also a very important one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely. Acidification of oceans is a big issue, and Yeah, super yachts are consuming a lot of fuel, so if we could find ways to reduce this consumption, it would be great. It would be a great advance on the maritime development in general.
And we see already some sailing boats coming back in commercial, with rigid sails, and so there are steps taken. So if they can include some of the technologies from here with these boats for not only for yachting but also for commercial boats, that would really be good, because I know now there are already small companies that propose to do it with other ways than with CO2 emission motors, but it's a very niche thing and it needs to be expanded.
Definitely.
It's very calm on the water. One is going back to do some laps, some qualifying laps. They still have 1 hour and a half. I wonder whether they all already did at least one lap. No, unfortunately not.
Unfortunately, I don't know, because the Wi-Fi has a problem and I cannot see.
But I can't recall having seen all the teams on the water.
No, probably we are missing some of the teams that we haven't seen on the qualifying laps.
And we see there on the screen an autonomous boat that comes from the docking, and it seems to work. It's impressive. I really look forward to seeing them and see what they can do, because having these energy boats, C-class, and so it's already amazing. But then having all this plus all the autonomy, all the AI on board, it's in a way, AI is sometimes a little bit frightening, but it can also be such a good thing to advance. Huh?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the autonomous boat. I think it's quite fun to see them moving without a pilot. It's really interesting also to understand what algorithm they brought in to compute what's the base route and everything.
And DTU Float Forward is back on the water. That's great to see. We're really happy for them that they have the opportunity to start their laps again. We hope it goes good this time, much better than it did just before, so that they can take some good laps. But here we are again with 23, which is a physics boat. And they have been participating in another race in Lago Como, actually. They were at the E1 series. They had, no, they didn't participate, but they toured the paddock. And they learned a lot going there, doing this. And they said they learned from last year. Why? Because they hit a buoy. So they practiced. And it takes a lot of time to repair a hull when you hit a buoy. So the driver has had a hard time with the rest of the team, I guess, because they couldn't continue. But it's really nice. And they also participated in the Polynautical Hub. So they're really showing their work, and they go and see other possibilities to learn, not only here, but also from the environment where they are. Impressive turn, eh?
Absolutely,
very flat. He didn't lose a lot of time. I'm better at seeing how they take turns than at describing batteries. That's more of your speciality.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because they have flexible solar panels that are a bit waving with the flow, with the air and the sea going around. I wonder what it changes to the efficiency. I'm really looking forward asking them how it goes, and what was the choice to not use more maybe rigid support for the solar panels. So we'll see.
What would it make as a difference?
The solar panels, so they are, the way it goes, it transforms, let's say, incident rays from the sun. Rays goes from the sun, they touch the surface of the panel, and it reacts and creates energy, electricity, which is stored in a battery. So we have electricity, let's say, okay. But of course, when you see the efficiency of a panel, they give you the best way possible, the most efficiency possible, and which is at noon when it's with the perfect angle. So having a panel that is really moving around, I wonder if it's really efficient and how much they lose, how much rays they can transform in electricity, in fact.
But isn't it lighter?
Yes, absolutely, it's light.
So it's a trade-off, I guess. Again, everything is so tiny. Huh? The differences are so tiny that it might, yeah. We should go and talk to them later today.
Absolutely.
Or tonight when we see them. Here we are with Polito H2 Fly, which is a very nice name as well. They believe they can fly, and we believe in them as well that they can fly. So it's, yeah.
We cannot wait to see them fly.
Yeah. Politecnico di Torino. I think yesterday we had a chat with one of the girls from Torino, and she said there are many in the teams, but then when it comes down to working, you sometimes lose people because they can be different reasons for this, because they don't have time anymore, or their focus is different, or they have to work on their master's degree or whatever. But it makes it even more difficult to have a comprehensive team with all the possible needs that are covered.
It's always it's the struggle to have a students team, and doing it in parallel of your studies. So your main focus shouldn't be the project, but for some people it's way more interesting and you learn something different. Maybe you learn more. It depends on your view on it. So maybe you tend to spend a bit more time working on a boat, but not everyone is ready to take this choice.
Yeah, because from what I understand, for some it is really part of the curriculum, and it gives them points for the end of the year. But for some, it's just a hobby.
Yeah, it's a
something that you put on top of the rest of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. It really depends on the university, on the students. Also, it's. I don't know how it is for other universities. At EPFL, we have the chance to be able to have some of the development counts in your studies.
And we hear a very happy Danish team there, because the boat is now doing their laps. So after having a small issue, being towed in a little bit earlier, they are now cruising and trying to go as fast as possible. I believe it's not the fastest boat, but let's see in the endurance. Maybe it's also a trade-off to find having a very good speed and not be able to do long runs, or being able to do long runs and having a little bit less speed.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you need to also take a break to recharge batteries. So let's see how they're doing, but at least for sure they're floating forward now. They have quite. It seems their boat looks light, and yeah, they're doing nice. Like it's a really clean race.
And they keep on doing laps, huh? They can do as many as they want.
Yeah, if no one else is waiting for doing laps, they should do as many as they can because it's the fastest who counts. So it's also a good way.
But you say they should do as many as they can, but don't you also increase the possible failures doing it? Or are you so secure about your boat that that doesn't matter?
Yeah, it really depends. It's a good question. I guess it depends on the confidence of the team also. You can make the choice to do just one, hope for a good time and stick with it. At least you did one and you're qualified for the rest. And if you're confident with the boat and you don't fear of breaking anything, then not many as much as you can, but some, at least a bunch of them. So you can also have a feeling of the of racing. Like for the pilot, it's a good experience also to push a bit on the power and understand, okay, turning, how it goes. It's a good experience. It's really interesting. And now we see the Polito H2 Fly from Torino.
Number 14. Actually, what I read on social media is that they were introducing Alea, who is the name of their boat, on the 2nd of July. So, yeah, it's a result of a full season of hard work and dedication and passion. And they faced major challenges, but they were able to overcome them one step at a time, which is really good. And when you see then your boat going on the water, even if it's only 7 days before the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, it must be such a relief and such a moment of emotion and excitement.
Yes. And it must be a great, being ready with the boat 7 days before racing in real conditions. It's a great achievement, and the team must have been so happy to be able to show off and then to come here a bit more confident. Because some teams are coming and they haven't tested it before, so they're coming and hoping for the best, but they don't know.
Really?
It happens.
You must be very confident then, huh?
I mean, that's cancelling at the last time.
And an AI boat, I guess, because it's docking, with very quickly so race control. But look, it takes its turn and pushing. But the boat remains flat, so it doesn't lose too much. Which boat is it? We cannot. There he goes, but we cannot see which one it is, unfortunately. It's an old catamaran that is used, that's for sure. Yeah, that was one of the team who told us we use that construction of a boat because we know it. It's something we know. So going for the autonomous boat was already a challenge. So if we had to go for another design also, it would have been complicated, even more complicated. Huh?
So as we can see, the AI boat did the full tour of the buoy. Boom. And they're going to park again.
That park is a big word. Bump into the parking.
Yeah, but there is no pilot, so it's quite an achievement already.
Well done to AI.
Yeah, but okay, they went a bit away from the park. Hopefully they can go they can go back, or I don't know how the race control will.
Now it's stuck. Doesn't move anymore. There is another one waiting there, a little bit higher, with a complete different structure.
Yeah, this other one with the solar panels on top is the Croatian one. It was the one competing in the solar class before. And this catamaran one is the number 30.
So this is Adria autonomous boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know which one is the one with the solar panels on top.
Yeah. And we're happy that some people are joining us here. No, it's great to see you. And I hope you're enjoying also the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge, because you have a young boy with you. And this is also one of the things that we want. It's to have new people going to engineering and see what you can do with it. So, yeah. Ah. Okay, from Polyboat. So, okay, so no need to try to convince you. So, okay, all the best. So the Adria autonomous boat, so they have one in the energy class and one in the AI class, and there's only 2 or 3 teams that could achieve this, which is quite good. And yeah, they have been working on this project for 2 or 3 years already, which is quite long, huh? And yeah, they're proud that they gather students from the whole University of Rijeka.
I think it's quite really interesting to see the empty seat. It's really impressive to understand that it's just sailing freely, autonomously, of course. And we see again the Danish team for another qualifying lap.
Yeah, did you float forward? Keeps floating forward at the moment and going faster and faster, I have the impression, when we look at the images. And we really would like to have Wi-Fi again so that we can actually see the speed they are doing, because now it's just gut feeling that we have, so we cannot really be, but we might see it tonight while a big ship is coming in, a big yacht is coming in, accompanied by the people of the Yacht Club of Monaco.
And from what I hear in the cheering here, the Danish team is well supported, and hopefully they're doing really well here on the qualifying laps.
And there we're back with the autonomous boats, as you can see. Isn't it the Austrian one? No, it's difficult to see, but he's trying to get in. Huh? Oh, and we have even on board. We are even on board of an autonomous boat there. So we were on board of the TGM solar boat team You see that he's trying to get into it. It reminds me when I learned to drive, actually, trying to park. It's a little bit the same. Huh? You try, you make errors, you try again, and they're learning here. It's not straight, but it's not that bad. Huh? It's very impressive, I must say. It's Technologische Gewerbemuseum Institute of Technology. And this is the one with these very young students. They are 19-year-olds and they come from a technical school. They came in a previous edition and they were really good because they were in the solar, I think, at that time, or the energy. But they were second in the endurance. But then they broke a little piece and they finished second. But from the last one. So here it's really very nice, and we talked a lot with the teachers because they are there to support them. They really want these kids to have a good experience but also learn a lot because it's part of the curriculum. Huh? And the boat is simulated in the water. So that's good. That allows the team to test and to refine the behavior even before going on the real world.
Yeah, and sometimes the simulation allows you to understand before building the boat, which is a good step also, before going for maybe a less hydrodynamic choice or whatever happens. You can try it out in the simulation on the computer before creating it for real, so you can fine-tune your choices also in the design, in the choice of materials, of propulsion, or a lot of possibilities thanks to simulations. And I think most of the teams are doing it, but of course more or less advanced, depending on the schools and the curricula, everything. And here the team of Vienna is only 20 members, so it's quite a small team.
Yeah, it's a small team, and I think as well for these very young students to see all the ones who are doing masters, bachelors, and even more, it's also very motivating to see that they can bring this further, go on in this direction.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. It must be really a good experience when you're only finishing high school to be able to come here and compete and see others compete. It's a great experience.
So no energy class doing fast laps at the moment because there are boats coming out of the harbor. So it's not the best moment to go and do it because you will be faced with waves. And it seems there are quite a few boats. So there we see boats waiting. Oh, but there is one there that seems to be stopped. I don't know because I see security next to the boat near the finish line. I hope all is fine. It seems to be an Italian flag, but difficult to see from here which boat it is.
It's the Polimilano one, probably. The Danish team, I finally got the times back. So the Danish team, which was cheered a lot, achieved the 6th place with a lap of 1 minute. So it's a really good performance on their side.
Yeah, much better. Huh?
Much. Yeah, I don't remember the first laps, but it's...
No, it didn't seem that fast, and they had to come back as well. They were towed in. So it's good to have those qualifying. And there we see an autonomous boat who didn't find the parking spot. They had a little bit of localization issue, but they're trying again and try to come back. And it's again the Austrian boat. Huh? You see it from on board. And then you have the... It's funny. Do they talk to each other, AIs?
They can. I think I read in some of the technical sheets that they wanted to do connected boats, like a network of connected boats. And it would be really interesting. I know they do it in drones. And it's it allows more units to fly together without bumping in each other, so it's good for safety and communication. But I don't think they are discussing between different boats. I don't think this is happening right now. I think they had an issue of the previous boat either tried again or finished to park, the Croatian boats that we can see here. So the other one had to make a bit of room.
Yeah, it's as if, come on, I have to do it. Go out and let me finish.
But they're trying again, in fact.
Yeah. But they go fast as well, huh? I would have thought, fast, everything is relative, but I mean, I would have thought they would do this really at very low pace, but they still have a good pace.
Absolutely.
It's really funny, to watch. Coming back.
Yeah, they're a bit maybe too fast for parking. They're
boom.
bumping.
Oh yeah, that was impressive.
Yes.
A full turn
they
into
need to
the
be
parking
back on
lot.
That orientation, of course.
Not sure this was the expected thing, but fun. And the other one is gently waiting, very politely. So AI can be polite. We already learned this now.
As long as this here is a fully autonomous boat, in case of emergency, you need to have human control, like manual control of the boat. So they also have remotes to be able to control the boat. And most probably they're right now remote controlling at least this one, because I guess that the AI has specific programs for the specific races. So they are not fit to maybe say just, oh, I have to let someone go through. So, yeah. But let's see how it goes.
I must say, when I look at this, it's a little bit like science fiction to me. Yeah? When you see what they are doing and not needed humans to be able to do it. It's like cars, autonomous cars. It's always very impressive.
Okay, we are ready after this. Also, sorry, we are ready after this. It's okay. We can go.
And now the Austrian boat is parking again to start another lap of... How is it called?
Docking.
Docking, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're very smooth, huh? I must say there is a difference in handling. One seems to be quite fast and bumping. The Austrian one seems a little bit smoother in the way it handles, and it's going now around the buoy. Yeah, good turn. Look at this. We are aboard an autonomous boat, so we are AI actually, and the other one makes room, but it has to go and park now, huh? And dock.
And dock in the right direction, like facing
backwards actually. They
yes.
have ooh, just next to it, and the other one comes back. It's like a game, huh? But where are the others? Because the docking is docking should be finished in about 7 minutes if everything stays on time, and 1 more hour for the qualifying laps. And it seems that not all teams have done the qualifying laps, so 1 hour to go for them to do them. So I hope they will all go on the water and have this. It's not the moment to go and do your qualifying laps. A big yacht is coming in, so you cannot take full speed when there are those boats around you. One is coming out, one is coming in. So, but I see a boat going out again. I cannot see the flag. Seems an Italian one to me, but difficult to say. But we will see in a moment which boat is going to do. And there is another one who wants to do his qualifying laps as well. Look at him. We see the drone closing in. Drones are beautiful because it gives you really an impression as well to be with the boat and feeling the speed much more than with a normal camera, I would say. So, yeah, time flies, huh? We are nearly at 1 o'clock, which means that at 1 we will start normally the maneuverability. And then at 3 we'll have the speed record.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and you see that some still have a little bit of time here to do their qualifying laps. One is back on action, but not going that fast as the moment. At the moment, I guess it's a little bit of a warm-up of an hot lap, as they would say in Formula One. And yeah, in a few moments he will then try to do a fast one, because some of them didn't do their qualifying laps yet. And that's quite worrying, I find. So we will need to have some information afterwards to see what will happen. If they couldn't, I don't know, maybe they can still do the championship but start as last. go in because it's a way. So the championship will allow you to get into the race, even if you were last in the qualifying. But you will have to do many more laps to get to a podium place. If you are high, classified high, you will have less to do. Huh?
Yes. The last ones from the qualifying laps will have to do more rounds of championship to get to a higher ranking. Whereas the first from the qualifying laps will be able to start from the first rounds, so do less rounds in the end. So here we see another energy class boat going for the qualifying lap. While the AI ducks always. This is a smooth parking from the Croatian team, Autonomous Boat.
Yeah, it's the Argonauts that we see there. So the University of Bologna, yeah, they're quite good normally. They do a lot on social media as well. And their boat is called Futura. And Futura has three meanings. It is design, build, solution that look ahead, that look to the future. In Italian, futuro evokes innovation, progress, drive to anticipate what's next. And normally a boat is feminine in Italian, so it became futura, which was a natural choice. But also there is an Italian Bologna songwriter who is called Lucio Dalla, and he made a song that is called Futura. So three reasons for the boat to have that name. Not moving a lot. Maybe waiting for the best conditions to do. And it's a very large battery box that we see there, Juliette.
Yeah, it's a very long one. Looks super clean from the outside because you see less cables. Yeah, probably they just embedded all the electronics in this black box so it could be protected from any salt water with spray inside of the electronics. And it's probably also helping for the heat management in some ways.
They also went to a Villa d'Este style electric yachting event at Lake Como, and they received the Best Student Team Award, a recognition for their passion and commitment and teamwork, which is really good. Villa d'Este, and I refer again to cars, is very well known for classic cars. So it is it's a beautiful place at Lago Como, and having these modern boats, this modern technology in this place is also something that we should certainly notice. And for them, it was brilliant to be there. You can imagine this experience where they could connect with companies, professional organizations. So they did a lot of networking there. They exchanged ideas, and they were able to build new perspectives.
Of course. Yeah, that's also one of the big interests of events like that, where you can meet people, share ideas. It's a lot of opportunities. Is it to find work, to find a sponsor, to find a new passion? I don't know.
Yeah, but they go everywhere. And I don't know, but they seem to have a good connection with car racing. Because on June, on the 23rd of June, they went to the Enzo and Dino Ferrari circuit in Imola. And they had, it's the place where they unveiled Futura. So that's really great. And it was next to Formula's E team. So really, that must have been wonderful for those young students.
Yeah, of course. I know that a lot of Italian teams at some point were using as cockpit the chassis from their own school's Formula student team. So the Formula student is a competition that is quite similar to this one, but for Formula E built by students. So the Monaco Energy Boat showcase boats built by students, whereas the Formula student shows cars built by students and racing cars. So it's really, as we said, hydrodynamics and aerodynamics is really important. For cars, it's also a big issue, so they could team up with those teams and use the chassis from the cars and use it as cockpit for the boats here in Monaco. I think it was the case for some years, and now they all stopped for some trade-off that decided they took the advantage of doing it themselves, so they could have more control on the shapes and the efficiency and the aerodynamics.
Yeah, we heard from the University of Ghent in Belgium that a lot of people wanted to do these Formula E cars, but not a lot of them wanted to do boats over there. So they were the ones who initiated it. And yeah, it's a movement that might bring others into the running and having even more possibilities for them.
Absolutely. The Formula teams, Formula students competition is a big network across Europe, and hopefully the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge can someday create such a network of competitions on water with boats and students' boat. It would be crazy opportunities also for students, because the recognition also grows with the network. So a lot of cool opportunities ahead.
When I see the speed of the boat there, and I read that the aim is to win the endurance race, maybe that's one of the reasons. Or maybe it's just waiting for the perfect... there he goes. For the Brano, it's not the same. For the perfect conditions to do it. We have two boats on the water there. One is discussing with the team on the dock and receiving last information to know how to do it. You see, the communication is not always easy. Sometimes you have to shout. Sometimes there is a system. Wow, there they go. Wow, that was a start. Look at this. It's a very direct, the speed they take. And you see that often with cars as well, electric cars, it's much more direct, the speed you can have. And it seems it's the same here with the boats.
Yeah, you try to reach your cruise speed as fast as possible, and then try to keep it that way. If you manage to keep sailing at cruise speed, and here you, maybe go for max speed also, because you're trying to go for the fastest lap, and all the team is cheering for it.
Yeah, die. So it's sure it's an Italian team when you hear them, and they seem happy.
Yeah, it's the Elettra Unige.
So Genoa.
Let's see.
Yeah, they seem to be happy. And it also makes a good feeling, I think, for the driver, because he's not alone. Otherwise, it's a very lonely thing, and you have such a big responsibility when you do this, because you can either make it visible, make the hard work of the whole team really visible, or just destroy it. Huh? So you need a good team spirit as well to be able to support the driver in what he's doing. 50 minutes, 50 minutes left for the qualifying laps. Look, we have the full team of Unige there. They're quite numerous. Huh? It is when we see them there. Really happy with they saw the performance. I think they were looking at their mobile, so maybe he had a good placement.
Yeah, I think the Elettra team did the lap in 52.5 seconds, whereas the Uni boat just before did 52.2. So there is a 0.2 difference between the two laps. It's very tight.
Where is Adria now? Because they were leading for a long time. It seems they lost their lead with these Italian crew.
Maybe it was also...
Je me demande s'il n'y a pas un deuxième tour de qualif parce que j'ai que ces deux temps-là maintenant.
J'ai pas ton humour. Allez, ciao les gars, ciao. Il a mangé, Dani, non? Il a mangé. Ah, il a mangé déjà? Allez, tu peux y aller. D'accord. Non, ouais. Il a mis deux. Oh Francis, évite de tomber, hein.
And you see it's quite calm now in the marina and also in the stadium. For the AI docking, it's finished. Qualifying laps, we don't see anybody on the course anymore, but maneuverability will start soon. So we'll have more things to report to you. With the maneuverability, we will move categories as well. In the marina, you had the autonomous boats, and now we will go on another extreme, which is the open sea experience. So it's the zero emissions industry showcase, and for this maneuverability, they will have to handle at low speed a challenge that focus on precise control inside the marina, because it's really important as well. When you have those boats, and we see it here with these big yachts, you have to be very precise to be able to dock it, to come out, and it's a gift, but the boat must be able to do it as well. You can train it yourself as a sailor, but your boat must be able to do it. Ouais.
Oh yeah. Alors, ouais, est-ce que tu m'entends? Ouais, mais moi je te fais un test, y a pas de problème. Là, je suis en direct du Yacht Club. Ouais, c'est dans la solo, alors qui ça peut te foutre?
Actually, I might not be able to see so well. Over my shoulder. One of these. One that was...